What is Himalayan consensus? It's a fresh economic paradigm that views the integrity of our planet's ecosystems as a core foundation for economic development. It's about three principles: protecting cultural integrity through empowerment of people. That means getting business to communities and getting finance and capital to those people who are going to drive communities. And third, prioritizing protection of environment and going beyond just saying we're going to save trees and protect, our forests. It's really about saying the next mega trend for innovation is going to be in renewable and efficient energy systems that are actually going to be aimed at zero carbon energy. Otherwise, we're not going to have a planet to live on. And nowhere other than the Himalayas are people so acutely affected. Because you can see the glaciers are melting, and as those glaciers melt, those river systems are going to disappear, which means these are questions of food security, water security, and of course, the question of peace within our own society. Because one of the major causes of conflict among peoples, not religion, which is what you hear in the mainstream media all the time, it's really about resources. Conflict arises when people are marginalized economically or their identity is marginalized, and those two things go hand in hand. So one of the best ways to reduce conflict is actually empowering people, empowering communities, and making sure the ecosystems, environmental systems, and resources are available to those communities. The countries of the Himalayas are all joined by the glacial and river systems. And here we are actually proposing a Himalayan consensus declaration on the eve of the SARC summit here in Kathmandu. And of course, Nepal is core to the Himalayas. But some SARC officials have said to me, well, what about Maldives and Sri Lanka? I said, yes, they're core too, because when the glaciers melt, it's the downstream communities that are affected, and ultimately the island states are the ones that are going to disappear first. So we're all interconnected by the environment with which we live in. So how do you change the politics? You change the politics by changing the economics and the assumptions, and that ultimately means changing the value systems. And that's what this declaration is all about. What we're here today is to do something called Inception. How many people here have seen the movie Inception? Raise your hand. What was it about? It was about a group of guys who got a leader to make a decision that changed the course of events, thinking that that decision was actually his own. And that's what all of us are doing here today, is to propose to the SARC leaders that the agenda of Himalayan consensus can become their agenda. That is, policies need to be made that are going to drive and guide business into renewable and efficient energy systems and guide our financial order into empowering communities, getting capital to people who are going to be able to preserve those communities and evolve them in a way that will maintain the integrity of this planet. So I want to thank you all for being here and being part of this Inception meeting.